This next segment is brought to you by Fisher Funds. It's a chance for us to answer some of the questions you have about KiwiSaver. Today we are getting back to basics and giving you some top KiwiSaver tips. Here to discuss is Head of Advice Development, Aaron Hinks. Aaron, good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning. What do you think is the most important KiwiSaver tip?
Well, I think one of the most important KiwiSaver tips is to make sure you're actively contributing to your fund. So really, if you're receiving salary or wages on a regular basis, you can contribute at least 3% of your pay every cycle. And this means that your employer will also add their 3% to this as well. Now, I always say to people, if you are in a position where you can add a little bit more than the minimum, then that is something to consider, as this can have a really big impact on your wealth creation over time. So, you know, if you're in, alternatively, if you're in self-employment or potentially doing some unpaid work, then you can set up an automatic payment. This can help things along directly to your KiwiSaver. Yeah. And the reason being that, you know, the reason that's been such a big tip is because really you want to make the most of that government contribution that happens every year. So if you're aged between 18 and 64, the government will pay 50 cents for every dollar you invest, up to a maximum amount of $521. Now, this is something you really don't want to leave on the table.
Right. What else should Kiwis do to ensure that the KiwiSaver is working hard from there?
Sure. Well, I think making sure you're in the right fund for your situation is really important. So there's a wide range of KiwiSaver funds available. However, they typically come in three main types. So you have the growth funds, say. So these aim to provide a longer-term return, higher return over a longer-term period, Then you have the conservative fund, for instance, which is traditionally more stable, however, can offer a lower return compared to other options. And then you have the balanced fund, which kind of sits in the middle of those two there. So being in the right fund can have a really massive effect on your retirement savings. So really important to get that mix right.
And I guess, talking about getting the mix right, sometimes people can get it wrong. What is the biggest mistake that people are making with their KiwiSaver accounts?
Yeah, absolutely. I think probably the biggest mistake in my experience is people really panicking when they see their value of their balance go down, right? So it's important to remember that KiwiSaver is an investment, and that investment is affected by performance in global share markets and also other assets that your fund invests in. So it's really important to kind of keep a cool head during those rockier moments and really not kind of make any rash decisions in the heat of the moment, so to speak. And I think if you are unsure, then you can reach out to your KiwiSaver provider or alternatively a financial advisor, and they can kind of work with you to kind of make sense of the situation and kind of make you feel hopefully more at ease.
Fisher Funds Head of Advice Department, Aaron Hinks, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much, Daniel.
Really appreciate it.
My pleasure.